Imagine this. You walk into a room where everyone's talking, loud, confident, dramatic. Some people are laughing too loud at jokes that aren't funny. Some are whispering lies in polished tones. Some are begging for your help, your attention, your forgiveness. Again. In the center of it all, you're standing still. And something inside you quietly asks, what if I just stopped? Stopped explaining, stopped rescuing, stopped trying to be understood by people committed to misunderstanding you. Stopped handing out pieces of your peace like party favors to people who only show up to drain it. What if, for the first time in your life, you didn't react, didn't chase, didn't prove? Not out of pride, not out of bitterness, but because you finally understood this, your energy is sacred. And maybe, just maybe, the most powerful move isn't fighting for a seat at someone else's table. It's walking away and building your own. This isn't avoidance. This isn't running. This is spiritual maturity. And Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, called it what it truly is: withdrawing your psychic energy. Not from life, but from illusions, from broken systems that feed on your insecurity, from people who love your potential, but not your boundaries, from stories that were never yours to carry, scripts you didn't write, but kept performing anyway. And when you finally pull back, the world doesn't end. But something false does. Today we're going into the deep, 30 minutes of truth, 30 minutes of uncomfortable liberation. And by the end, you won't just understand why you feel so tired, so stretched, so disconnected. You'll know exactly what to do about it. 1. The invisible leak. How energy slips through unseen cracks. You ever feel exhausted, but you haven't done anything? That's because exhaustion isn't always physical. Most of the time it's energetic. Every time you replay that argument in your head, leak. Every time you overthink a text before sending it, leak. Every time you smile to keep the peace while dying inside, leak. Carl Jung called it libido, not just in the sexual sense, but as your psychic energy, your life force. Now imagine spending it on dead things, conversations that never go anywhere, people who hear you but never listen, versions of yourself you've outgrown, but keep reviving just to be liked. Your soul knows, and it's tired of funding your survival at the cost of your wholeness. The performance trap. Why you keep playing roles. You hate from childhood we learn who to be to survive. Be the nice one, the strong one, the fixer, the achiever. You perform and they clap. But somewhere along the way you forgot who you were before the audience arrived. Jung called these personas, masks we wear to meet the demands of the world. But live in a mask too long, and you start to believe that's your face. Withdrawing your energy doesn't mean abandoning people. It means retiring from roles that no longer serve your truth. 3. Trauma bonds, masquerading as loyalty. You think it's love, but it's a loop. You think it's care, but it's control. Some relationships don't thrive on love. They thrive on your guilt. They keep you close by weaponizing your empathy. Jung would say you're enmeshed, your psychic energy tangled in someone else's unresolved pain. They don't want your freedom. They want your compliance. Withdrawing here is not betrayal. It's rescue. The high cost of emotional babysitting. Do you feel like you're always the strong one, the emotionally mature one, the therapist friend? That's not a compliment. That's a slow death. When you parent grown adults emotionally, You become a surrogate nervous system for people who refuse to regulate themselves. And while they sleep peacefully, you lie awake, overanalyzing your boundaries. Jung said what you fail to confront in others is often what you've neglected in yourself. So, stop babysitting. Let people feel the consequences of their own choices. They might grow up or walk away. Either way, you win. 5. Chasing closure. The never-ending hunger. You think if you could just get one more conversation, one more explanation, then you'd be free. But here's the truth. Closure is an inside job. The people who hurt you don't hold the keys to your healing. And waiting for them to validate your pain is like asking a thief to help you find what they stole. Withdraw your energy from the illusion of closure. Give that peace to yourself. 6. The soul tax of being. Nice. You're not nice. You're afraid. Afraid of disappointing others. Afraid of being called selfish. Afraid of being alone. But nice isn't a virtue when it comes at the expense of your integrity. In the highlands of ancient Tibet, there lived a monk named Tenzin. He was loved by all, not because he was powerful or loud, but because he was endlessly nice. He listened to every villager's complaint, carried burdens that weren't his, and bent over backward to avoid conflict. He was a peacekeeper, a caretaker, a saint. But in the quiet hours of the night, behind monastery walls, Tenzin wept. He wept not because he was hated, but because he was invisible. People loved the reflection of themselves they saw in him, but no one truly saw him. One winter, an old master came through the village and watched Tenzin serve tea in the cold, smile through exhaustion, and nod through disrespect. That night the master left Tenzin with a single line: "There is no enlightenment in becoming what others need you to be. There is only fragmentation." That line broke something open. For the first time, Tenzin stopped bowing when he didn't mean it, stopped saying yes when his soul screamed no, stopped shrinking himself for people who mistook submission for virtue. And the village turned on him. They called him arrogant, said he was losing his way, said the monastery had changed him. But in truth, for the first time, he was walking his way. Jung believed in individuation, the journey to becoming whole, not perfect, not agreeable, whole. And wholeness often means disappointing people who benefit from your fragmentation. You'll lose some roles, you'll lose some applause, but you'll gain something infinitely more valuable: yourself. Because the truth is, you don't owe anyone your likability at the cost of your authenticity. You don't exist to be palatable. You exist to be true. So stop being nice just to keep the peace. Start being real and discover the deeper peace that comes from living unshackled. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them call you changed, because you are. And that's the point. 7. Energy vampires and how to starve them. Some people don't want connection. They want consumption. They show up when they need something, leave when they've fed, and you keep letting them back in. Not because you don't know better, but because part of you still believes your worth is tied to what you give. It's time to starve that belief. Withdraw your energy, not in anger, in clarity. 8. The myth of fixing others. You cannot fix someone who benefits from being broken. Your healing will offend them. Your growth will threaten them. Your peace will trigger the chaos they've made home in. Jung said the greatest gift we can offer others isn't to fix them, but to heal ourselves so radically we become mirrors of what's possible. So, stop fixing. start becoming. 9. The sacred art of non-reaction. Not every insult needs a response. Not every lie needs correction. Not every attack deserves your attention. Jung taught that what you resist persists, but what you ignore eventually dissolves. Your silence is power. Use it with precision. 10. Your peace is not up for negotiation. If you have to argue for your peace, it was never peace to begin with. Withdraw your energy from people who confuse love with war, from dynamics that spike your cortisol, from conversations that leave you spiritually dehydrated. Your peace is your compass. If you have to sacrifice it to stay, that place is not your home. 11th, reclaiming the throne within. You're not cold, you're clear, you're not distant, you're discerning. The moment you stop overgiving, people will call you changed, and they're right, because the version of you they loved was fueled by self-abandonment. Withdraw your energy, reclaim the throne. 12. When you withdraw, the real ones remain. Here's what's beautiful about pulling back. What's real stays. What's fake fades. What's meant finds a way. What's not walks away. You won't lose anything worth keeping, only illusions. So stop feeding the performance, step off the stage, and start living from the center of your own soul. Because when you stop feeding what's draining you, you finally start nourishing what can grow. Final epistle. If you feel like your life is loud with obligations, but quiet in joy, if your soul whispers, "I'm tired," even when your body's rested, if you're ready to live a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside, then hear this. Withdraw your energy. Not from life, but from lies. Not from love, but from manipulation. Not from people, but from patterns that keep you small. Because the moment you stop giving your light to what dims you, you begin to glow from within. And when you glow, you don't chase, you attract. Now go, not to prove anything, but to protect everything sacred within you. Your peace, your power, your purpose.